Hello everyone, Glorious King Gabe here, and today I will talk about Frederick, aka D590, my very first custom diesel character. Frederick is based off of the British Rail Class 24 diesel locomotive. However, I made one big mistake while making this custom. While I was looking at reference pictures, I primarily used one of the locomotive, but it's from its back. So, unfortunately, Frederick's face is on the back end. But I decided not to move his face and keep it as is. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we got a diesel face on the back of its body. Frederick was the first custom I ever did using the body shell method. What that means is that his body sits over an existing chassis. Or in this case, it's a B-Toys wooden train blue passenger car. Man, say that 3 times fast. It was painted in a peacock blue from this paint I got at Target. It's almost close to NWR blue, but a slightly darker shade. His vents and windows were drawn in with a black fine tip Sharpie. Okay, I'm just gonna go on another little rant here. I hate painting vents on wooden railway diesel engines. The process is so tedious, and depending on the character, it takes so long. I envy those who use take-alongs or take-and-plays, Tomy or Trackmaster diesel characters, because it's already molded on there. For wooden railway, nope. You either gotta paint it on or use decals. And if you really choose the paint it on option, I wish you good luck. At least his handrails, doors, and roof were easier to make compared to the vents. His silver handrails were painted on with a toothpick. A little tedious, but not as much as the vents. And his roof was painted light gray. His fronts were made from air-dried clay to imitate the front slanted ends of the Class 24's cabs. Or fronts, whatever it is. It's not a pretty sight, but eventually it was redone with the gaps filled in with milliput. Originally, they were supposed to be in all yellow, but I decided to make a yellow rectangle around his face and paint the areas around the windows blue. And honestly, I like this look better. Ah yes, Frederick's face. His face was hand-painted, but it was on a square, so I glued it on a rectangle, and repainted the entire thing before gluing it on his front side. I painted his number D590 and the letters NWR on one side of his cab door, and he was completed. And before somebody says it, yes, I know that his number is not accurate to his real-life basis, but you know what? It's fine. And I'm sticking with it. Over time, Frederick's vents started to fade, and his details looked messier in my eyes. So, it was time for a repaint. I decided to put black rectangles over the old vents and use a toothpick to paint blue over the rectangles. Several times. Several times. Honestly, this method is so much better than drawing the vent holes with the black Sharpie. Although, I would probably recommend, designing vents on a paint program or something, then sizing them, then gluing them onto the locomotive. His cab doors and windows were repainted to look straighter, and his letters and numbers were also repainted to look neater. And boy oh boy, does that look great. While repainting his roof, I realized I missed a very important feature. His roof details! He looks so bare without them. How I was able to look at him without those details, I'll never know. So, I went onto my paint program and made roof details of a BR Class 24 using screenshots of model trains of said locomotive. It's honestly easier than trying to find a picture of the real-life locomotive itself, let alone a clear roof shot of it. I mean, who takes pictures of locomotives from their roofs, am I right? After several different attempts of printing and resizing, I finally had his roof details, and I glued it on the top. The last thing I did was touch up his face, that way it looks cleaner and his eyes no longer have the black circles around them. To, coincide with the other Thomas Wooden Railway toys that have faces. And here is Frederick once again,
let's take a proper look around him. Here we got his front. Yeah, nice face, nice detail. Yeah, I wouldn't really like the entire front to be yellow, and I'm glad I went with this method. Okay, got his details here, D590 and NWR. Windows, they're quite alright. Doors alright. Those are the blasted diesel vents. You know what? Just gonna ignore that. Got the back end of the cab, his roof, which looks really nice if my camera decides to focus properly. There we go. Yeah, so the circle, like air duct or whatever this is, it's supposed to be on this end, and all these parts are supposed to be like mirrored, but they're not, because like I said, I looked at a picture of him from behind, but you know what? I'm gonna make that part of his character. Yeah, here's his back end, where the face should have been, but no going back now. Other side, I know it doesn't look as great as the left side, but yeah, it doesn't bother me too much. Yeah, and as you can see, like this popping out. Oh, might as well talk about that. So yeah, this is a B-Toys, I want to say passenger car. I mean, I think that's what I said. Got this at Target. I think you can buy this off of Amazon too, if you so please. So that way, you can make Frederick, you know, face forward, face back, and if he's pulling a train like this, or another engine, you can have him, you know, go face to face. A really nice method. Kind of reminds me of the Tomy Mighty Mac toy. Yeah, Tomy Mighty Mac. That was interesting. I'm not sure how other people feel about making stories about their OCs, but I do it with my custom characters. Well, at least my main fleet, which includes Frederick right here. Yeah, and I think I have a good take on the whole steamies versus diesel things, where instead of the diesels being nasty towards the steam engines, some of the steam engines, one of them you might see in the background, is mean to Frederick instead. Oh, but I shouldn't say any more, or we'll spoil the story. And that has been my custom showcase on Frederick, the Class 24 diesel locomotive. Tell me what you think of him down in the comments below. And don't worry, there is going to be a video talking about how I made the shell of him, this guy, old slow coach, some express coaches, and anything else that I think I forgot. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next video.